Joining us now with more, Arif Lalani, former Canadian ambassador to Iraq, Jordan, Afghanistan, and the UAE. Thanks for being with us today.
Pleasure, Karen.
What do you make of these escalating tensions in the Middle East? How worried should we be?
Well, I think everyone should be concerned because it's really unclear what President Trump's real intentions are. And so I think it's going to be a very tough weekend as people don't know what might happen.
What do you make of the timing of this escalation and these talks? It comes on the heels of mass demonstrations across Iran in late December. Is President Trump's move here a reflection of civil unrest in that country? Is he trying to capitalize on that to make regime change happen?
I don't think he has a strategic plan, but what I do think is he's kind of painted himself into a corner because he's had such a massive buildup of military power. And so it's almost like he's got to use it or he's going to lose face. So I think we may be inching towards some kind of military action without a real strategy of what to do next. So somebody else had said that, you know, it's a war looking for a strategy. And that's what it looks like right now.
Well, wasn't that the excuse back in 2003 when President Bush said he needed to invade Iraq and there were weapons of mass destruction? In this case, Trump is saying Iran has the capability, soon will have the capability to strike America, but intelligence documents do not suggest that. Are you seeing echoes of 2003 here?
Well, I'm not sure we're seeing that yet, but what we are seeing is a changing of the goalposts. Up until now, the negotiations have been about nuclear weapons and nuclear enrichment. And now President Trump has added this idea of ballistic missiles in his State of the Union address a couple of days ago. So I think he's trying to set up an argument to do something militarily and hoping that the Iranians will concede something. And I will add that the Iranians are really master negotiators. You know, they will drag this out until they think it's the last minute and perhaps concede something. So there is a way out of this, but the Iranians now, I think, have to decide what it is they can concede in the next couple of days.
Well, as I understand, there are to be technical talks in Vienna next week. What does that even mean?
Well, I think it's a way to keep talks going. It may be about a number of things. For example, Iran has not reopened its sites for inspection by the UN agency, the IAEA, which would inspect those sites. So the technical talks may be about how would we do that. And that, I think, would be helpful. I think a way out of this would be for Iran to agree to reopen their sites for inspections, which would allow President Trump, I think, to save face. It would allow the Iranians, more time and to extend their negotiations. But the backdrop of all of this, as you said, is a huge protests that continue against the Iranian regime. So it's very volatile inside the country as well.
And you feel that the nuclear arsenal of Iran is the actual target, not regime change?
I don't think that the American president has a strategy. I think he would like to see regime change. I think he would like to look tough. And he has, as he has said about every issue internationally, he'd like to have a deal. I don't think he knows what the elements of those deals would be. He would just like to be able to announce a deal. So it's not clear. And on so many things as this one, I think what other members of the administration say can't be the final word. It really depends on what President Trump says.
Arif Lalani, former Canadian ambassador to Iraq, Jordan, Afghanistan, and the UAE. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.